It is very important to set boundaries in relationships because that's what's going to help build that healthy and respectful relationship. You need to identify what are your personal boundaries. So you need to take some time to reflect on what your values are, what your beliefs are, and what makes you feel comfortable or uncomfortable within your relationship. Think about what you are willing to accept and what you expect from your partner. You need to be able to communicate your boundaries assertively, but to also respect the other person. You've got to be able to communicate in a clear and direct way. And when you do that, you have to use I statements to express how you feel. An example would be, I feel uncomfortable when you ... or I would appreciate if you ... You should not be using accusatory language or using blame to your person for the discomfort that you're facing. Once you have communicated your boundaries, it's important for you to remain consistent in enforcing them. This is going to help you establish a sense of trust and respect in your relationship. Just as it's important for you to communicate your own boundaries, it's also important to listen to and to respect your partner's boundaries. If you see that your partner communicates a boundary to you, you need to listen to their concern and to make an effort to also respect their limits. Every time you're going to be reevaluating your boundaries, and it's important to periodically do that, you can ensure that your boundaries are still relevant and they're appropriate based on your current situation. As you grow as a person and change, your boundaries might also change. Setting and communicating boundaries requires a person to have self-awareness and to be able to communicate it clearly. And they've got to listen and respect each other. If you manage to do that effectively, it can help you create a sense where you can be safe with your person, you can trust them, and you can respect them at the same time. Listen to your partner. When your partner communicates their boundaries to you, it's important to listen to their concerns and respect their limits. You need to avoid dismissing or minimizing their feelings. You always need to ask your partner to clarify things. So if you're not sure about what they're trying to put a boundary to you, you need to ask for clarification. And this shows that you're interested in understanding their perspective and you are willing to respect their boundaries. It's important to avoid pressuring or manipulating your partner into developing something that they are uncomfortable with. This includes emotional blackmail, guilt tripping, or using threats to get your way. That is not good. Just as it's important to respect your partner's boundaries, it's also important to communicate your own boundaries. In some cases, your boundaries may conflict with your own needs or desires. And in situations like this, it's important to be willing to compromise and to be able to find a solution that's going to respect you and your person's boundaries. Put yourself in your partner's shoes and try to understand their perspective. I'm going to give you a few simple exercises so you can know how to start using boundaries. You start by identifying what your own personal boundaries are. Reflect on what makes you feel comfortable or violated in a relationship. Write down your boundaries and keep them in mind when communicating with your partner. You can start a role-playing exercise. You can practice by setting and respecting boundaries, perhaps with a trusted friend or a therapist or a mentor or your sister or your sibling or whatever. Take turns playing the role of boundary setter and the boundary respecter. It's quite fun if you try it. Number 3, start to say no to things that you feel uncomfortable with or that they step outside your boundaries. You can start by saying no to very small requests, and you can work your way up to more significant ones. You can use active listening and being able to communicate assertively in order to communicate your boundaries. Always use the I statements to express how you feel and what you need in the relationship. Another exercise would be for you to write down your boundary statements. During this time that you're writing them, you're going to practice saying them out loud until you feel comfortable communicating them to your partner. Take time to reflect on the boundary setting experiences and ask feedback from your partner or from that trusted person that you're going to start practicing with. All of this can help you to refine your approach and to improve your communication skills. I know that it might be hard to start setting a boundary. If you start to practice it, it might get uncomfortable in the beginning. However, it's something that is going to help you to build and maintain that healthy and respectful relationship.